The command of the Central People's Defense Headquarters has issued a statement on the death of prisoners of war during the Turkish invasion of the guerrilla area of Gare. The statement said the following: the occupation operation launched by the Turkish state in Gare in the Medya Defense Zones on February 10 has been stopped after the defeat in the early morning of February 14. Against the enemy's dastardly attempt to permanently establish itself in Gare, the Kurdistan Freedom Guerrilla has put up one of the greatest resistances in its history and has given a tough response. A camp where prisoners of war belonging to the Turkish security forces were held has been attacked in Gare. The camp was intensively bombed from the air at 5 o'clock on February 10. This was followed by a ground attack in which every form of war technology was used. In order to protect themselves and the prisoners, our forces located in the camp under bombardment gave the necessary response to the occupiers and hit them effectively. After this strike, the occupying Turkish army retreated a bit. Although it knew that there were prisoners there, the camp was again intensively bombed by fighter jets. The bombardment, which lasted for 3 days, and the fierce battles inside and outside the camp resulted in the death of some of the MIT members, soldiers, and policemen we had captured. That no one would survive such a fierce attack is clear to anyone with basic military knowledge. The attack was not aimed at liberating the prisoners of war, but at destroying them. The only person responsible for the death of these people is Hulusi Akar. He gave the order for such an attack and has no human feelings whatsoever. In order to cover up this inhuman attack, his own filthiness and deep lack of success, the enemy, in a flurry of excitement, resorts to lies and twisted facts. Whatever he does, he will not be able to cover up the truth. It is sufficiently known to the public that we as a movement have not harmed any prisoner in our hands to date. The greatest proof of this is that we have protected the prisoners with great care until today, despite years of heavy bombardment and constant attacks by the Turkish occupation army. At the beginning of the occupation attack, we made it public that the Gare area, including a camp for prisoners of war, was heavily bombed and subjected to heavy attacks. Relatives of the prisoners have appealed to the Turkish state and demanded an immediate halt to the attack. Nevertheless, the attacks have persistently continued. This has once again shown the true face of the Turkish state. It understands nothing of humanity, has no conscience and does not hesitate to consume and kill even its own people without batting an eye. The representatives of this inhuman and fascist way of thinking will have to account for it to the peoples of Turkey. Quite obviously, the occupation operation in Gare from February 10 to 14 and the great resistance to it produced important results. The details of the war that took place in the final balance of both sides will be clearly clarified and published shortly.